This week's Parashat Lech Lecha. Parashat Lech Lecha, just to give you an introduction, what's going on over here. We learned in last week's Parashat Noach, we didn't really get a chance to talk about it, but last week's Parashat Noach, we learned about Noach. 10 generations from Adam until Noach. Look at the patience of God. 10 generations from Adam until Noach. 1,000 years, more or less. 1,000 years from Adam until Noach. From Noach until Abraham, 1,000 years. Meaning to say that God created the world with Adam Rishon, wanting the world to be perfect, and said, okay, Adam wasn't perfect. Okay, well, wait. How long you waited? 10 generations. And then comes Noach. Each tzaddik tamim b'dorotav. A righteous person in his time. We'll talk about it in a minute, what it means in his time. We talked about it on Thursday's class, what it means in his time. We'll get back to that in the end. I want a point that I want to pull away from over there. And then Noach comes down, and he's still not perfect. Meaning, he says he was perfect, but obviously, we still have to get Avraham Avinu. 10 generations until Avraham. 10 generations. And the Torah tells us all the lineage of what happens from Noach until Avraham Avinu, till we get to Avraham Avinu. Now, what happens to Avraham Avinu? The Midrash relates the whole story. Avraham Avinu lived with his father, and at their time, there was no, after Noach, after the flood, you would have thought everyone would have believed. It was Noach and his 3 sons. They didn't know that God existed? Be real. Let's talk now. Straight. Let's put it on the table. Noach, 3 of his sons and their wives. No one else was around. They all saw the Mabul. They all saw the flood. They didn't know God existed? They didn't know there was God? What would you think would be after that? 10 generations of everyone believing in God, right? What did the Midrash say? What were they doing? Idol worship. Every single one of them was bowing down to idols. What happened here? Where's the miscommunication between the parents and the kids? The parents Vadai knew. No? The parents didn't 100% know? So what happened? So eventually somewhere along the way, broken telephone, I guess. And they started doing Avodah Zarah. Now what happened? Avraham's father, he owned a place that would sell statues. Now Avraham Avinu was a very logical person. So he came to work one day, he says, what are these statues? Everyone comes, they pray to them, they come to spend money. Imagine going to the store and you're buying and you're spending money on statues. You're going to the store, oh, this one looks nice, give me that one. And he looks a little brolic, looks decent, let me get that one to the house. Avraham Avinu says, no, something's going off over here. And we all know the famous story, the Midrash breaks down. Someone brought a plate. Avraham Avinu broke them all, left the biggest one with a hammer in his hand. When his father came back, he says, what happened over here? He says, listen, a woman came in with a plate of food. They started getting into a fight, and the biggest one won, survival of the fittest. And his father said, what are you talking about, the statues? And what does Avraham tell him back? Exactly. So what are you praying to? If they can't even fight with each other, so what are you praying they're going to do? They can't do nothing. And then the word gets around, and then it gets to the king, and the king says, oh, now we have a person, Avraham, we have to excommunicate. What are we going to do? Throw him into the fire. Take him and we're going to make a whole situation, a whole scene. We're going to put him and we throw him into the fire. They take Avraham in front of the whole city square, they throw him into the fire. What happens? Avraham is sitting in there, leaning, steiging, chilling in the fire, he's having a good time, he's doing he's dancing, singing. Everyone sees Avraham inside the fire and is saying, what's going on over here? I've never seen something like this in my life. Imagine you hear, oh, Chas v'shalom, a building burned down Ocean Parkway. The firefighter everyone's going crazy. You see a guy on the second floor in the fire. He's chilling, he's dancing, fire all around him. What's up, man? Oh, you want me to go through? No. What happened over here? They're taking him right away to the psych ward. They have to figure out what's going on with his skin. They have to test it, figure out how do we get this on everybody. Make some type of lotion out of him, no? They're going to cremate the guy to make a lotion out of him. You can't cremate him, though. Don't do it. Avraham Avinu is surviving the fire. What's going on over here? Now his brother was 50-50. He wasn't sure. Do I believe in God? Not believe in God? Wishy-washy. So what did he do? As soon as he seen Avraham survive, what did he do? He says, Yalla, I'm in it too. He jumps into the fire. What happens? The fire swallowed him whole. He says, oh yeah, what happened over here? Avraham says, listen, if you're not 100% with God, you can't rely on a miracle 50-50. And he didn't make it. So when Avraham got out, this is exactly the point we got to. Avraham gets out. Now his brother who just died, who jumped in the fire, had a son, Lot. Well, Lot was his nephew. What, are you going to leave him alone in his wicked place? So Hashem tells him, Lech Lecha me'artzecha u'molatecha me'bet avicha. He tells him, go from your city, from your town, from your father's house. Now, Avraham says, what would you ask now? If someone came to you, God came to you right now and say, he told you, leave your city, leave your house, leave Brooklyn, leave Flatbush, leave Abba's house. Okay? What's the first question you're asking? Where are we going? No? Whatever Avraham asks? Nothing. Whatever you say, Kadosh Baruch Hu, wherever you're going to take me, I'm going to go. You don't want to know where you're going? Nah, I'll just go. I have faith. It's the first question I'm asking. Now you're thinking maybe, okay, if you're 18 years old, 19 years old, right? Say there, what's the big deal? Let's go, whatever, Miami, whatever you're going to take me, fine, challenge. How old was Abraham? 75 years old. I'm not talking to you about a little guy, a little narc coming, let's go, yeah, I'm with you. 75 years old, okay, walking out the house. Yalla, let's go, leave everything. Let's leave everything. I'm 75 years over here. I'm not a narc, I'm trying to start something fresh. I have my wife. He already was married to Sarai. She wasn't Sarai yet, she was Sarai. I'm already married. I got my wife. What are you trying to go? Get up, leave. Where am I going? Who knows? But just know wherever I'm taking you, it's going to be the best thing for you. Okay. Lech, Lecha. Go for you, Hashem tells him. Okay. Doesn't ask him any questions. Oddly, the Malbim, one of the commentators in the Torah, asks a question. If you look at the chronological order of what God told him, leave your city, your town, your father's house. If I asked you to leave right now somewhere, right? How would it work, theoretically speaking? How would it work, theoretically speaking, in your mind? Right? First things first, you're going to leave Abba's house, then you leave Flatbush, then you leave Brooklyn. Then we make it to Long Island. No. First leave Brooklyn. How did I leave Brooklyn before leaving my dad's house? First leave Brooklyn, then leave Flatbush, then leave your dad's house. How is that physically possible? So Abim says, what's going on over here? I don't understand. Please help me understand what's going on over here. Abim says that if you look at it in chronological order of how it's supposed to happen in series of events, obviously it doesn't make sense. But there's another teaching we have in this. What's the other teaching that we have in this? In terms of relativity, what was the easiest things for him to do? In terms of character traits. A person is most affected by the things that he learns in his father's house. And then from the things in his neighborhood. And only then, the things from the city. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu told him in steps. Everything in life, lat. Take it slow. First things first, leave your city. Which basically means leave all the character traits that you learn from your city. Leave those things. And only then, once you finish that, then leave your town. Which basically means now that you finished all the things that you learned from living in Brooklyn, get rid of the accent. Can't do anything about it. I tried for many years. Now everywhere I go in the world, where's the accent from? Even in Brooklyn. Even in Brooklyn, they ask me, where's the accent from? I tell them I was born and raised in Brooklyn. Where? I'm telling you here. Where's the L from? Where's the Spanish from? I'm not Spanish. I don't know. Don't ask me questions. Somewhere along the way, this is what came out. I didn't choose it. I'm saying the truth. I didn't choose it. Okay? But this is what came out. Said, okay, first thing first, leave the Brooklyn accent. Then, leave the Syrian community. Wow, now you hit me hard. The Brooklyn accent, okay, we can live without it. But Hajj, Neh, Musari, all these words, what am I going to do without them? Huh? Leave the J-Dubs. Leave the, what is it? Mafi Miklak. What is it? Leave all these things. It's hard. Leave the kibbeh. Leave the maza. Leave the subs. Huh? Leave more shiur. Okay, now it hit you hard. Hit you hard, Aki, no? It's hard. Okay, fine. Said we get through it. Now, leave Abba's house. Ooh. Who's going to do my laundry? Leave Abba's house. Leave Ima's house. Huh? For the guys, it hits harder. Who's going to do my laundry? Who's going to cook? What do you mean? Leave Ima's house. And what am I going to do? I got to figure out on my own now. That's why a guy says, Ozev itimo ve darbak beishto. There's nothing in between. He doesn't say he leaves his mother's house and there's something in between. No, right away he leaves his mom, he goes straight to his wife. Why? Because what's going to be? Who's going to help him? He's scared the guy does not do anything himself. Atidag, when you get married, you realize you also do the laundry and the cleaning. So it's gams. Tamili, trust me. I just came back from doing a load. That's why I was a little bit late. I got the last shirt. I got it. This one is me. Don't worry about it. Okay, when you finish, I can get to the dishes. I have to go. Okay, I'll do the dishes too. Avalma. It's harder. You see, there's a series of events that a person has to go through in his life. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is teaching you a lesson. You want to become religious? One guy comes to me, came to shiur 1 week, came to the shiur. That's it, Ma. Decided I'm taking on kashrut. I'm taking on Shabbat. I'm taking on that's it. I'm not looking at the woman. I'm not even looking in the woman's direction anymore. Chazaku Baruch. Tell him, what do you do right now? Nothing. I told him, Habibi, let's take a step back. Relax, take a deep breath. Come here. Let's deal with the first thing first. What's the first thing on the list? I want to do this. Jumps the gun. What ends up happening? Maybe for 2 days, from Sunday to Monday, he keeps Shabbat. What does that mean in reality? By Tuesday, he's not keeping Shabbat anymore. Think about it for a second. Sunday, Monday, I'm keeping Shabbat. Tuesday, forget about it. It's too hard for me. You didn't even get the Shabbat. What happened? It's too hard for me. So, in life, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is teaching us a message. It's not what I can talk about, but I think it's a beautiful thing you have to learn along the way. That in life, it's baby steps. You don't get to build Rome overnight. Everything in life you build is brick by brick. Take your time. Understand that this is also, everything you do in life, no matter what you do, is brick by brick. You try to jump, you become overwhelmed. And then what ends up happening? You can't take it and you crumble and you end up losing everything. I have a guy I know personally. I met him. One time I saw him. I told him, yo, what's going on with you? Before I started giving shiurim, believe it or not, I did kiruv before shiurim. I told the guy, what are you doing? He goes, nah, I'm here, I'm about, I'm hanging out. I told him, what are you doing Wednesday night? He goes to me, why? What's going on Wednesday night? I said, you got to come. He says, where are you coming to? I didn't say more about that shiur. I said, Parashat shiur. So let's go to Parashat shiur. Got him through the door, which basically I started with him through the door. I was there ready for a long time. I went with him for about 5 classes and I left. And then I stopped going. But he continued strong. One day I'm in Melbasin, I'm in shul. All of a sudden I see him come in. I said, wow, Baruch Hashem, he's holding. Got the high place. Shabbatot, this, minyanim, praying. I said, this is a little bit too short of a timeline for you to get to this point. Literally a month later, where is he? Lo ro'im oto. Don't see him at all. Not shiurim, not Shabbat, not Chagim, nothing. Gone. Why? Because he thought, I'm going to jump. I'm going to shoot for the stars and I'll make it to the moon. He didn't make it to the stars, didn't make it to the moon, didn't make it nowhere. He jumped and he fell right back down. That's the emet. The Kosh Baruch Hu teaching us a very sort of something secret about life is that in life you have to work in life step by step. Telling Avraham, I want you to leave, but also I want you to understand, don't just jump now, 75 years old, and leave everything and go right away, even though Avraham did. He told him in steps. Now, getting back to the point I want to make, God tells Avraham, go from your land, and I'm going to do the best thing for you. Great. So imagine now, you coming with me? Let's go. Yalla, I'm taking you, let's go. We get to the place, we get to Miami. What ends up happening? You get to Miami, there's no food. The place is dead broke. Avraham Avinu gets to Canaan, gets to Eretz Yisrael, the land that Hashem promised him. Famine. Famine throughout the land. No food. No food. Now what's Avraham telling himself? This is all the good you promised me. You come and told me, oh, go, leave. I'm going to take you to the best place in the whole entire world. Where do you take me to? A land of famine. Where do you take me to? And man, like I said right now, listen, I know you have a striving business, I'm doing good. Leave the business. Let's go open something together. You open up a new business, you open the doors to the retail store, not one client. 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, nothing walking to the door. You come to the guy and say, what do you take me to? Avraham Avinu asked Hashem. Did Avraham Avinu ask Hashem anything? No. Because must be a Kosh Baruch Hu who's doing for the best. Then where does he go? Okay, there's a famine over here, I'll go down to Mitzrayim. Goes down to Mitzrayim with his wife. What happens? Says, he sees her go down to the water. Says, wow, I never realized she's so beautiful. She's a beautiful woman. By the way, it's where you don't have to compliment your wife. Huh? Don't take you off the hook. You have to compliment your wife. Says, I never knew you were so beautiful. But now we're going into Egypt. And because of your beauty, they're going to want you. So here's what you're going to do. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to tell them that you're my sister. Right? We're going to hide you in the chest. And if they catch you, because we're going to put you in the chest. Right? If they catch you, we're going to tell them that you're my sister. And I'm saying, if they're going to catch you, we're going to tell them you're my sister. And they're going to, which the Pasuk says, and they'll do good to me because of you. Rashi explains, what does it mean they'll do good to me because of you? That they'll give me presents. They give me presents. Right? And then later on, it says that when they left, that Avraham got all the presents. He got cattle and sheep. And so what's the blanket question over here? Avraham Avinu is one of the most righteous people in the whole entire world. You think he cared about presents? You think he cared about presents? Yes or no? Be honest. You think he cared about presents? You think he said, you know what, let's go in there, you're going to tell me my sister, and guess what? They're going to give me presents. I can't wait to go, I'm going to get presents. Huh? You think he cared about the presents? Be honest. He didn't care about the presents, so what's going on over here? That's one question. Another question, how come Avraham Avinu didn't say anything? What happens after this? Exactly as he says, they get into Mitzrayim, the most beautiful woman. A woman like this, who are you? I'm his sister. A woman like this is only fit for Paro, for a king. And what do? They take him to Paro and actually get married. Paro marries her on the spot. That same day, they get married on the spot. He goes home that night. The Midrash relates that every time he tried to touch her, Sarah would say a word with her mouth, and an angel from Shamayim would come and whoosh, whoosh. Every time he tried to touch her, you get a whip in the back. Every time. Imagine. He went to the chiropractor in the morning, nothing helped. The needles, he went to the physical therapist, nothing helped him. Every time he gets near her, he gets a whip in the back. But before we get over there, Avraham Avinu, Hashem told you, leave your land, and I'm going to do good to you. You get to the land, I promise you, famine. Then you go from over there, you get to Egypt, your wife is taken from you. Where's the good? Where's the good? Huh? How come Avraham didn't ask any questions? Why didn't Avraham say, God, listen, I don't want to ask, I hate to be that guy, but, you promised me good, and, doesn't look like it, famine. Okay, I said famine I can handle. I come down to Mitzrayim, you take my wife. What's going on over here? Avraham didn't ask any questions. Now, there's two answers to what's the good in this. But to understand Avraham Avinu's logic, I think for us there's an important lesson in life. That we need to know wholeheartedly, we spoke about it in the past, but we spoke about it in last week's class also. But you need to know wholeheartedly that everything that God does for you, no matter what it is, it's for your best. Everything that God does for you is for your best, even if it can't be explained. I'll tell you a small little one side of the goodness that came from this. And then I'll give you the second side, which is a little bit more understandable. The first one, it's a little bit deep, you have to be with me. You with me? Yes? I don't hear. Yes? Yes. You're with me. First one says, the Kabbalah, according to the mystical realm, there's something called spiritual sparks. Which basically means that everywhere in the world, there's spiritual sparks that need to be picking up that are attached to a person's soul. For example, if I go to Pennsylvania, I can pick up some spiritual sparks that maybe Yitzchak couldn't be able to pick up, right? Sometimes in life, HaKadosh Baruch Hu takes us to the places that we don't understand why he took us over there, the wrong turns, the wrong this, the wrong that. And we say, what do we do over here? Remember one time I was in Israel, we were driving on the highway. Now in Israel, it's not like America. You make the wrong turn, you end up on Ocean Parkway or Konyan, not the end of the world. You make the wrong turn in Israel, you end up in Gaza. Okay? You make the wrong turn in Israel, you end up in Gaza, and Waze doesn't tell you anything. I'm telling you right now. You on Google Maps, like, take a right over here. Where's this going? To your death. Makarapo. We took a turn. Next thing I know, we're getting to the border. I said, what's going on over here? What's going on over here? And I remember I was in the car with my brother. For those who don't know, my brother's a rabbi. Okay? So not only me, also my brother, but he's a bigger rabbi. Okay? And I remember my cousin was with us. He was driving. He took a turn. He said, what's going on over here? So my brother told him, Shema, we don't understand why why he brought us over here. But, Baruch Hashem, you make a parsa and you go the other way. But just know that even though you came over here, it must be that you had to be here. Because it must be there was some type of a spiritual spark. Now, last year I spoke about it. I don't know how relevant it is today, but how can we make this spiritual spark something that we can understand? Who remembers the game Pokemon Go? Huh? Who remembers the game Pokemon Go? You took out your phone and you're walking. Oh, look at the Charizard, yeah? So too, if Kadosh Baruch Hu said you have spiritual sparks all over the world, you have to go and pick up. Now what happened? Last year, I said this idea. I didn't talk about this whole parasha, but I said this idea of the spiritual sparks. And when I was preparing my class, on Sunday, my wife told me, listen, it's Sunday, September, October, whatever it was. We have to take the kids to go to, some pumpkin picking, apple picking, schmapple picking, farm, kach, this, whatever it is. You know what you say when your wife tells you have to go to the farm, apple picking? Yes, my wife. Whatever you say, no problem. Okay? So I said, okay, we're going to go to a farm with the kids, go pumpkin picking. I look on the Google Maps, I see the closest place, Queens. Not the end of the world, right? It's a headache to drive to Queens. Well, not the end of the world. We call Queens. Now, what didn't we know? I call Queens and said, listen, we want to book tickets. You want to come to the thing? Yeah, it's a farm, whatever, I don't know. Let's go, yeah, whatever you say. They tell us, oh, we're all booked out. Now, what we didn't know, it was the 2 weeks or something. I don't even know when. I don't know when Halloween is. I don't know when it is. Someone tells me it's this, that. I don't know. Okay? Anyone knows? I have no idea.
The last Thursday of this month.
The last Thursday of the month? Okay, everyone better be at the shiur. That's for sure. Everyone be at the shiur Thursday night. Forget about it. You cannot off the hook. Don't tell me I went trick-or-treating.
I'm not getting egged, Rabbi.
Huh? How about this? I'll buy some bags of candy in the shiur on Thursday night. Please, and everyone comes to the shiur with a little few candies. Okay? Okay. Long story short. I didn't know, but it was like 2 weeks prior, and they were doing like a they were all booked out. The nearest place we could find was 100 miles away. 100 miles away, okay? 2.5 hours driving. Now, I already told my wife yes. So I said, okay, what can we do? 2.5 hours. We drive 2.5 hours. That Sunday morning, as I was getting ready to go, and I hear now 100 miles. So where are you taking me to? Wisconsin? What's going on over here? 100 miles? For a day trip. Not like, okay, we're going 100 miles, we sleep here for the night, we'll come back tomorrow, 2 days. No, 100 miles there, 100 miles back. That means 200 miles in one day. For someone saying 200 miles in one day. I'm not a truck driver here, I don't know. Huh? What does this? So that morning, I'm preparing my class on Sunday, I'm reading a little bit, and I happened to learn this concept. And I'm saying to myself, on the way there, I'm going to be honest with you guys, I was a little bit upset. 200 miles, it's a little bit hard to take, but I was working on it. And then I remembered when I got over there, I get over to this farm. Now, what do you expect is going to be in the farm? Maybe in Queens, you see a few guys with kippot, you see guys, I got over there, I promise you, kid you not. There's maybe 300 people in the place. I'm the only Jewish guy in the place. Only. I'm walking around over there. I'm looking around me like, I don't know, like I'm about to get murdered over here. Like they're about to hang me. There's a witch. I said, what's going on over here, right? Now I'm walking around over there. I don't understand what's going on. And then I remember, why Kosh Baruch Hu bring me over here? And then I read this thing and then I got to pick up my spiritual Pokemon. This is what I came here for. Kosh Baruch Hu got me over here. So everyone I saw, are you the one? Are you the one? I saw a cow over there. So that's you for sure. Let's go. Yalla. Huh? That's it. 100%. 100% I had to pick up what I had to pick up. And that's one understanding that we understand. A little bit of an understanding of the goodness of Kosh Baruch Hu does for us. The second thing I want to touch about is a little bit more understandable. The spiritual Pokemon is understandable. The second thing is a little bit more understandable. Now, what do we say? That when Sarah came down to Mitzrayim, Paro took her up and married her right away, right? Right away he married her. Now, let's fast forward. This is Avram's time. There's going to be a time when Yosef comes down to Mitzrayim and he goes to prison, okay? And now Paro has a dream, this, that, cupbearer, wheat, the whole 9 yards. And he hears about this dream interpreter in prison, Yosef. I'm not going to the whole story, that's for a conversation for a different day. And he comes and interprets his dream, and it's exactly what he says. 7 years of abundance, 7 years of famine. Wow! You know what? Who is better to be my viceroy than you? And then Yosef, of course, says, of course I'll be your viceroy. Of course I'll be the right. Why not? Whatever the king wants. Now that night, the advisor of the king, same thing. Listen, he has a rule in Egypt. There's 2 things you have to be if you want to become royalty in Egypt. 1, you have to speak all 70 languages of the world. 2, you have to be from royal blood. That night, royal blood. You have to be from the royal lineage. Cleopatra, Chimuchtetra, I don't know, all these names. Amoshitista, okay? Someone has to be back there, okay? Long story short, I had to be a midget, because you know Paro is a midget, okay? Be from royal blood. Now, that night, the Midrash relates that the angels came to Yosef and taught him all 70 languages. Konnichiwa, samdi ha, hamdi famdi, wamdi, hamdi, lamdi. Hello, this is the ayah that's calling. Every one of them he understood and got, okay? Comes the next morning, now the Midrash relates that Paro had stairs, and 70 steps on each stair. So every step, privet. Next step, konnichiwa. Next step, every step, another language, okay? I don't know all 70. Okay, long story short, they say, okay, Chazaku Baruch, you know 70 languages, what about the royal blood? Paro says, oh, you want to see royal blood? Come, I'll show you. Takes him to the courtyard in his bedroom, shows him a painting of a woman. Who is this woman? Sarai Imenu. Says, fast forward, go back, rewind. When Avram was there, he married her. She became the queen. She was so beautiful, he said, paint an image of her, I want her on my wall. This image was on the wall until Yosef came. And because of that, he ended up becoming the viceroy. And because of that, he ended up to save the Jewish nation. Wow. You understand what I'm saying to you? The Kodesh Baruch Hu doesn't see things like what we see things. What's going to be tomorrow? Kodesh Baruch Hu, what's going to be things in 300 years? 400 years, more than 400 years. What's going to be in 400 plus years? Kodesh Baruch Hu already knows. He knows today. Today he already knows. I didn't come to talk about this, but I'll tell this story because it's a beautiful story. Last week was Chama Vadia's Yortzeit, the famous story. Everyone knows it. I'll say it again for those who don't know it. And if you do know it, you have to hear it again anyways. Too bad. Yeah? When Chama Vadia was an Avrech, when he was a younger guy, he went on Shidduchim. Now, he met a girl. He met a nice Iraqi girl. He's Iraqi, she's Iraqi. Everything's going good. All right, they want to get married. They set the wedding date. She buys the dress. He gets the ring. They set out the invitations. All 9 yards. Right? 2 weeks before the wedding, she comes to Chama Vadia and says, listen, all my friends, now we're not talking about over here regular people. Okay, we're talking about Chama Vadia, one of the biggest learning people, sages of his time. She comes to him and tells him, listen, when we get married, I want you to do one thing for me. Only one thing. Once a month, take me to the movies. Once a month, me and you A. Regal. New Jersey, he sits back with the popcorn. Imagine Chama Vadia saying imagine that. You want Chama Vadia without you? What are you doing here? What are you doing here? You know what I'm saying? He says to her, listen, you're asking me for a little bit too much. She goes, listen, I don't care. Bring your book, turn around, face the other way, and learn. And we're not talking about movies like today, action, this, that. What was movies back then? You had, I don't know, Bollywood. What did you have in the 40, 50? What did you have? Some Bollywood. I don't know what you had over there. Black and white. The audio sounds like it's 4 blocks away. My ass. But once a month, you sit in the back, open up a sefer, and you learn. Chamaya says, listen, I'm sorry, I cannot do it. And they broke off the whole wedding. Most people don't know this part. She actually took him to Beit Din. She took him to court and sued him. She sued him. And he had to pay her money. I promise you. Beit Din found her guilty. Said, listen, the dress, and this, and that, you have to pay her money. Now, Chacham Ovadia was poor maru. What does that mean? He had no money to buy bread. To eat bread, he didn't have. To pay back this woman now. So what did he do? He went to his Rosh Shiva, to the head of the Shiva. He told him, listen, I don't have any money. Give me a job. And I'll pay off slowly from what you pay me. It says 2 o'clock in the morning, I want you to go put the Sfarim away and I'll pay you for every night. So every night, 2 o'clock in the morning, Chacham Ovadia was there in the Bet Midrash, putting the books away. He was the last one in the Bet Midrash. He was there to 2 o'clock in the morning, putting the books away, organizing for the night. Imagine, Chacham Ovadia. When Chacham Ovadia was 90 years old, now he's already Chacham Ovadia, he already became very wealthy, became very successful, he had all of his children became very big tzaddikim, rabbis of Kehilot, of congregations. He gets to knock on the door. A woman comes open the door, and Chacham Ovadia didn't answer the door himself. The Gabbai comes, opens the door, right? The person who's the right hand to the Chacham Ovadia opens the door. She goes, where's Ovadia? Now who calls Chacham Ovadia Ovadia? Nobody. Where's Ovadia? I haven't talked to Ovadia. He looks at her and goes, you have no kavod? Chacham Ovadia, Rav Ovadia, something, throw something, give me just an R even. Ovadia. You know who we're talking about. You know? The man. We said, okay, no problem. She says, tell him so and so is here. Says the name. Chacham Ovadia hears the name. Says, bring her. She brings her into the thing. She tells him, Chacham Ovadia, I just want you to know, I don't have any money, and I need you to give me money. Says, okay, no problem. He writes her a check, whatever you need, it's yours. 90-year-old woman. And she comes in and she goes, you know, Hashem loves you. She says, why you say Hashem loves me? He says, you remember 70 years ago, you were about to get married with that girl. I was like, no, I don't remember. Yeah, I told you go to the movies. Long story short, she says, yeah, I remember. That's me. Oh, how you doing? How's everything? That you should know. I'm 90 years old today. And my whole life I've been barren. I've never been able to have children. Never. Kosh Baruch Hu loves you. Because that day you made that decision not to marry me, you were to have children who were the light of the whole entire world. Cham Yitzchak, Cham David, all them, everything they did was because you said no to going to movies with me once a month. Meaning to say, if we already learned the Kosh Baruch Hu 400 years down the line thinks about a person, Kama v'kama, even 70 years down the line, tomorrow, the next day, everything he sees, everything he does is good for a person. And this leads me to my next question. Sometimes in life we see things a little bit tefuch. Things don't look like they're going good, and sometimes we have Yisurim. You know what Yisurim means? A little bit of suffering. You come outside of the house, you have a scratch in the car. You bump your toe. It's the worst thing in the whole entire world, by the way. You're not wearing any shoes. You dump your toe, and walking around like limping for 2 weeks. It's the worst thing in the whole entire world. Now what has happened to you? How can I stub my toe? Sometimes we have things that happen to us in life. It says the Mishnah Perkei Avot, the Kadosh Baruch Hu tested Avraham Avinu 10 times. All 10 tests I won't tell you. But 10 times the Kadosh Baruch Hu tested Avraham, and every single one of them he passed. And the Mishnah Perkei Avot says, and this is how you know Hashem loved Avraham. If I test you, that means I love you. If I put you in the worst situations of your whole entire life and tell you, hey, go past now. Leave your father's house, go kill your son. You come back from killing your son almost. Your wife is dead. Every test in the whole entire world. We don't have to get into them. Come for the other classes. Ayan Sham, we'll talk about it over there. Every test in the whole entire world I give you, and that's how you know Hashem loves you. So what are you trying to tell me? That Hashem loves me when He tests me? That when I have a little bit of Yisurim, when I have a little bit of bad stuff in my life, Hashem loves me? Says the Gemara in Masechet Berachot, exactly that. Quotes a pasuk in Mishlei, says, Ki et asher yahav Hashem yochiach. Which basically means, a person that Hashem loves, He will prove to them. He will rebuke them. What does it basically mean? If you have a son that you don't care about him, or a son, a student in your class, that you know he's not going anywhere, and you see he didn't do his homework that day, right? So what are you going to tell him? No, Allah Hadidak. Go on. So go on. Anyways, where's he going? Maybe he's going to get held back. But if you have a kid who's a top kid of his class, and all of a sudden you see him come home one day, he gets a C on a test. What are you going to tell him? Come here. Come sit down. Let's talk. What's going on over here? You have a problem at home, you have this, you have that. Why are you spending so much time with this kid? Because you know the potential that's inside of him. You know the greatness inside of him. So, Kosh Baruch Hu, you know why I'm so medakdek with you? You know why I'm so checking into you, looking into you, cleaning you, whatever I can possibly can? Why am I giving you these little things? To clean you and do whatever I can? Because I love you. Because I love you. Because I know how great you are. Because I know what your potential is. And that's why I care. And that's why I want you to be the best version of yourself you could possibly be. And that's why I care. That's why I come and I yell at you and I scream at you. I call you into the office. How you get to see? Why? Because I want you to succeed. I want you to do because I know you can. Mishnah is in Masechet Brachot is telling us exactly that. You know how Hashem loves you? When things are not going 100%. When things are going 100%, the things are beautiful, everything's going great, then you have to be a little bit worried. Why is everything going so great? Meaning again, life should be majority great and a little bit of down. I'm not saying it should be always down, yeah? Majority great. If you look back at your life, you only see good. And sometimes you have a little bit of a this over there. But if you think back, I always tell people this, let the past be a testament to the future. What does that mean? Think back in your life, every time you thought it was the worst thing in the whole entire world for you, tell me today it wasn't the best thing for the whole entire world for you. You broke up with that girl, I can't believe it. Huh? Crying like a little baby, and then you married the woman of your dreams. Maka. Then it was the end of the world. Oh, I can't believe it. Oh, he broke off the shidduch. I don't know. He was the number one guy in the whole entire world. First of all, you went on 5 dates. Relax, okay? I remember I had something like that. I got called me. Oh, so what are you crying? I'm like, you went on the guy with 5 dates, 6 days. What happened over here? Makara, you guys went to meet in a restaurant 5-6 times. Cause like, oh, I get it. You like each other, but crying. Like, yeah, I don't like you guys were dating for 3 years or something. Mashu, I don't there. But sometimes in life we see things, think, it's the worst thing in the whole entire world for me, and then we think tomorrow, you know what? It actually was good for me. Our business doesn't succeed. And what's going to be? And then you open up something that's 10 times more successful than other business would have been. Look at your past. Look at all the times you thought that quote unquote things were so bad for you. And what is the outcome today? Tell me you don't look back at those things and laugh. And say, I can't believe I even thought that breaking up with that girl was a bad idea. Baruch Hashem. Baruch Hashem. Thank God. Hashem saved me. באמת. I said, guys, who dating girls פושעים. עליה נאמר, לא עובר בן אדם גיהנום פעמיים. And this woman says, a guy is not over hell twice. Okay? Hell, having a woman like a woman scorned, that's her. Okay? Everything bad you heard about a woman, that's her. Okay? So it is, that's it. Comes to you, I can't believe she left me. You think, are you crazy? This, thank God she left you. But he's crying. Why is he crying? Or this or that, everything in the whole entire world, the Baruch Hu says, sometimes in life, things are going to look a little bit sideways. But I want you to know and have faith in me that no matter where I take you, it's good. And that's why Avraham Avinu didn't say, by the way, Hashem, how come you told me everything you're going to give me is good? You took me to the land of Canaan, Israel, and there's a famine over here. He said, okay, must be there's good in this. Next, must be there's good in this. And what happened in the end? 400 plus years later, ended up being for the good. That's for the spiritual Pokemon. Put that for the side for a second, yeah? 400 plus years later. Meaning the same. You never know, you never understand what Hashem and how He operates the whole entire world and what's the deepest things of what HaKadosh Baruch Hu does and how He works with you. And on this I want to finish with one story. Everyone knows me with my one story. It's going to be another 20 minutes. Just get ready for it, yeah? Just like you know right now. Just whatever HaKadosh Baruch Hu brings down to the pipeline. Second thing I wanted to focus in on, I think it's something that's very important to our time. Why? I don't know. HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave it to me today. Anyone over here who feels nagua feels nagua. But importantly, we spoke about the past, the idea of achdut, of togetherness, right, in the past, how important it is. So too, we have a question in this week's parasha. How come, why did, besides for everything I just taught you up until now, why did Hashem tell Avraham Avinu, go from your land? Lech, Lecha, me'artzecha. Alright? Why? The HaKadosh Baruch Hu tell him, go. Lech, Lecha. Now we know, the Kitzur Balat Yorim, he says, take Lech, Lecha, take the Gematria, Lech, Lamed is 30. Chaf, 20. 30, 20, 50. 30, 20, 50. What age was Avraham when he had his son Yitzchak? 100. 50 and 50? 100. How long did he live after he left that land? 100. Kosh Baruch Hu was already giving him inside of this idea of leaving, he already gave him the truth behind it that there's going to be good in it. But how come we told him to leave? How come we told him, I want you to leave? And I hear over here, I think we have a beautiful message, and I'm going to say this one piece. Last week we spoke about Parashat Noach. We said, Noach had tzaddik tamim bedorotav, right? He was a righteous, perfect person in his generation. Now Rashi says there are some that learn in his generation for good, meaning in his generation and only his generation. And there's some that say in his generation and every other generation. What's the mashal? Imagine how you went to a funeral, and the rabbi gets up to give the eulogy. This man was a great man. He came to shul, he gave donations for today and tomorrow. And one guy gets up, who was this guy Bechlad? No one ever saw him in shul, never once gave a dollar to the Bet Knesset. Okay. This man was a great husband and a great father. The wife gets up, he was not a good husband and not a good father. Okay. This man was a good friend. I tell you the truth, I was friends with him. He wasn't a good friend. He wasn't a good friend. This man knew how to eat good. I'm telling you the truth, he didn't eat good. Everything they said, another person got up and said he's bad. Finally, the rabbi says, anybody ever, I don't know this man. Somebody please give me one thing good, something good about the guy. One good thing about him. So one guy gets up after 5 minutes of silence. He says, I'll tell you one good thing. He says, what? Compared to his brother, he was an angel. His brother was really bad. He said, Tzaddik, Tamim Midoratav. Noach was a righteous person in his generation, meaning in his generation, but according to his brothers, he was righteous. According to everyone else, That's the machoket that Masechet Sanhedrin brings down from Rabbi Yochanan and Resh Lakish, who, by the way, were Torah learners. They were partners in learning Torah. They would sit down together and learn Torah. Rabbi Yochanan says, what does he say? Rabbi Yochanan says, only in his generation. Resh Lakish says, in every generation. Now, I thought about this for a second. Why is there, if we have the ability to praise someone, right? We always learn in life, always see the good in another person. You have the ability to see good in Noach, so see good in him. Why do you want to learn it? Why do you want to learn the negative way? Learn the positive way. And then I said to myself, today I had this thought. It's an original thought. If you like it, good. If you don't like it, then blame the other guy, not me, okay? If you look in the Gemara Baba Tzia, says, who was Resh Lakish? Resh Lakish was basically the number one gangster in his time. What does it basically mean? He was the guy who was the kingpin of the mafia at the time. Okay? He was the real Al Capone. Okay? El Chipo, as I call him. Okay? Not El, what's the other guy's name?
Chapo.
Not El Chapo, the Yemenite version, El Chipo. Not Jewish Yemenite, not Jewish. No. Put that out there. Okay? You like that one? Okay. Resh Lakish was the number one criminal in his time. Now what happens? The Gemara Messiah says, how did he become religious? One day he's walking by the river, the Jordan River over there, and he sees a beautiful woman showering in the thing. What does he do? He jumps over like 50 trucks, climbs over the mountain, does flips, acrobats, everything to do to get to this woman, okay? He gets over there, he sees the luscious hair coming out of the water. Who turns around? Rabbi Yochanan. Amen. Amen. He looks at him, he goes to him, you know, I don't go that way, but I don't go that way. Rabbi Yochanan tells him, you know, I saw all that you did of all these acrobats, all these flips. You should know your strength. Your strength is not, you're using it for the wrong thing. Your strength, you're using it for Torah. And Resh Lakish tells him, and your beauty should be used for a woman, not for you, because B'chaval is going to waste. Huh? Today, maybe a different story, but then you're going to waste. Says, you know what, you think I'm so beautiful? My sister is even more beautiful than me. Even more beautiful than me. If you become tzaddik, use all your kachot for Torah, all your strength to learn Torah, I'll give you my sister. You can marry her if she wants. I'm not saying that he sold her off like she's a... If she wants. But I'm sure she wants. Yeah? I'm sure she wants because I'm a good negotiator. Don't worry about it. I got you. I'll hook you up. Okay? He says, okay, no problem. Says he goes, he sees Bemet that she was a beautiful woman. He became one of the biggest tzaddikim of his generation. He Bemet took all his kachot. Just to tell you guys how strong he was, the sages say that in his free time, in their time, it was the times of the Romans, he would go fight as a gladiator. Resh Lakish would go fight as a gladiator. Yeah? You understand who he was? Imagine? I would love to go fight as a gladiator. I don't think I'd survive the first round, but it would be nice to get into the first time, and then that's it. That's it. But imagine how strong he was. The biggest Tanakh in his own generation. And he says that Noach would have been a tzaddik in every generation. Why? Rabbi Yochanan, who was raised his whole entire life religious, was raised in a sheltered religious community in Bnei Brak, everything was good, everything was happy. He says, only in his generation. Why? Because he understood what it was to be in his shoes. Resh Lakish says, I know what it is to live in a world of all ta'avot and to fight against it. And I'm telling you, a person who has the ability to live in a world of ta'avot and fight against it will be a righteous person, not only in the generation, any generation in the whole entire world. Because the hardest thing a person has to do in the whole entire world is fight against ta'avot. Fight against the desires that he has. That's why Chachamim teach us about tshuva, a person who came back to religion, who never was in religion. Not that he came back, sorry, he was never there and he came to it. No one else in the world can stand the way he's standing. A person who was from birth will not reach the levels in heaven that he reached. Why? Because he knows what that tastes like. Imagine if I tell you right now, don't eat that pizza. You never tasted that pizza? Okay, said that, I won't try it. Man, I heard it's good, this, that, but I don't know what it tastes like. Now imagine you tasted that pizza, it was the best pizza in the whole entire world. Now I tell you, don't eat that pizza. Say, Habibi, what am I going to eat? Go to Moishi's, go to Pizza Time Avenue J. Moishi's Pizza Time Avenue J. I want to go here, I want to go there. Huh? Imagine if Dave Portnoy went to Moishi's on Avenue J. What would he give it? 3.2. Okay. What would he give it? Mehmet, no, Mehmet. He would have 1 bite test. 3.1. What's it going to be? Tell me now, you want me to give up on Pizza Kadosh, the holy pizza over here, the $1 slice? Huh? You want me to give up on the best pizza in the whole entire world? Even though you tasted it? Yeah, it's 10 times harder to give up on something after you tasted it than if you never tasted it. Okay, I don't know what it tastes like, and the best thing for me in the whole entire world is Pizza Time Avenue J. The 3.2 for me is a 10. Why? I can never taste anything better. It's 10 times harder for the person who knows to stay away from the person who doesn't know. So Rosh Hashanah understood. Now, what does that come and teach us? What I want to bring away from this point? The idea of stepping into another person's shoes. To understanding what's going on in another person's shoes. Hashem tells Avraham Avinu, Lech, Lecha me'artzecha. Go from your land. Why? Because eventually at some point your job is going to be to bring people who are wandering on the way. So I want you to know what it feels like to go wander. I want you to know what it feels like to be lost and have no destination, and I want you to know that feeling. So when you bring in a person to your house, what you're doing is so much greater. Because you understand what they're feeling. And from there we understand the idea of whenever you're dealing with people, to try and understand what they're feeling. Wrong, right, it's not for ashikul. You're fighting with a friend, I'm right, she's wrong, I'm this, I'm that. Try and understand what the person is feeling. Try and put yourself into their shoes. And only then, when you put yourself in their shoes, then you can understand what it is. Why am I saying this? Because I heard this story this week. Rav Priov said this story. Rabbi from Israel, his name is Rav Priov. He said the story of a soldier who was in a tank or something like that, when a close confinement with a few of his soldier friends. And a grenade was thrown into that enclosed area, into the tank. And this one guy jumped onto the grenade and sacrificed himself to save everybody else. One guy, 18, 20-year-old kid. Can you imagine? Sacrificed himself to save everybody else. I heard that. I said, if this 20-year-old kid is willing to let go of his whole entire life to save other people, how much more so should we be willing to let go of grudges that we have against other people and let go of ourselves for other people? Not to hold grudges, not to hold anger, not to this. Try to see what other person is feeling. Try to be in their shoes. Why are they feeling the way they're feeling? Even if it's wrong. Even if it's wrong, try and see maybe why do they believe it's right. And make shalom between them. There's nothing great in the whole entire world than shalom. Jose shalom leIsrael. One of the greatest things that Baruch Hu does for a person is peace. Peace, tranquility is the greatest thing in the whole entire world. Living this world after 120 and saying, I have no beef with anybody. It's the number one thing a person can do, and another thing you strive for is to understand wholeheartedly, to try and understand what it is to be in another person's shoes. Why is he feeling the way he's feeling? Why is he going through what he's going? And I'll finish with this. Avraham Avinu, after his wife went down to Mitzrayim and was taken, he went down to Gerar, another city, and again his wife was taken by Abimelech. Again, 2 times, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Yeah? Avraham Avinu goes down, and again his wife is taken. Same situation. Tell him you're my sister, tell him this, tell him that, the whole 9 yards. Not like identical. Now HaKadosh Baruch Hu punished them a little bit differently. The whole city, he closed their wombs. No one was able to get pregnant. He gave everyone stomach problems. Avimelech comes to Avraham Avinu, and he tells him, "Hello, what did you do to me? My whole city is cursed." Avraham Avinu prays on his behalf, and the pasuk says, right after he prays and he heals all the stomach of the woman in the kingdom of Gerar and Avimelech, the next pasuk after, and Hashem pokad et Sarah, and Hashem remembered Sarah who was barren and gave her a child. What does that mean? Avraham Avinu, he could have held a grudge. Well, you took my wife, you want me to forgive you now, pray for you? I'm not going to forgive you, I'm not going to be angry with you, I'm going to let everything go. Not only that, I'm going to pray for you. And because he prayed for him, he was okay that the prayer that he prayed from him, that the merit he had, went to his wife and she was able to get pregnant. She wasn't supposed to be, she was barren. Because he prayed for him, his wife was able to get pregnant. When you're fighting with another person, you can say, oh, why is he doing that? Try to understand what they're going through. And adrabah, don't get upset with them. Pray for them. And I guarantee you, only goodness will come from it, for you and for them. And with that unity, with that understanding, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, everything he does is for our best. Even the little strife we have between our friends is for our best. Whatever it may be. But how we have to look at it, how we have to understand it is, put yourself into the other person's shoes and see how are they feeling. Even if it's wrong or if it's right, why are they feeling the way they're feeling? And only then can you maybe understand them and make shalom. And pray for them. We will all be zuchei in that merit to have real shalom, shalom amiti, real peace between us and Kol Am Yisrael. Chen Yirtzeh v'nomar amen.
Beef.